Hey guys, this is the Scout again, and today we'll be doing a video on Nemesis. Now, I would pretty much talk while playing, but I recorded this after my friend stopped playing, got off. So, at this point, I wasn't really talking. I merely muted myself and decided to try and a test build: barbecue and chili, lethal pursuer, and a perk that I barely got because it wouldn't give it to me, ruin. I would use Pop Goes the Weasel, but for now I have Eruption, but I will try to get Pop Goes the Weasel soon. This isn't an original idea of mine, it's someone else's that I managed to find off of the internet. So I decided to try and test out the build and see how it would work. I will show you the build throughout this video. Thank you. Notice how the Nancy turned into a Meg. At this point, I do keep my guard up even more and try to sweat a bit longer because she switched to a character just to get a toolbox near the end of the period where we could ready up. Good tip, if they do that, best thing to do is keep your guard up and be ready for any type of sweat or any sort of tryhard in general. Lambkin Lane, one of the worst maps for killer just because of its so many vaults and all that. But we do have Lethal Pursuer just to help us start a chase. I'd say for killers like Nemesis, it's good to have Lethal Pursuer because it can help you build up your power right from the get-go. Start chases, snowball your way as early as possible. I noticed them repairing generator from the sound, so I decided to focus on them instead. I'd already messed with the Drake Park, so likely he'll just go away for now. But it's the Meg I really worried about the most, and she really tried to use probably another part to try and fix his generator as fast as possible, along with Dwight, who probably has proved thyself. And that's tier 2, right on our hands. Literally. I'd probably say for Nemesis, it's best to just go for tier 2. Since that's pretty much his most powerful asset in the game when you start snowballing. Now, You can break pallets with ease, and you can do it while still moving slowly, instead of having to stand still. Really, this is pretty much the thing you're pretty much going for, unless you're going for blood points. Though if you do want to run the extra mile, you can still try and whip and get tier 3, as an extra meter doesn't hurt anybody. More, it just gives you a bit more an advantage in range. A disappointed stun for a disappointed survivor. Neat. And that's one of our downs. I could have whipped her, but I didn't really think it was necessary. I thought she would still try to dodge it. Plus, it did help in the end, as the Meg was fixing Jenner right near me. So I guess in the end it was worth it for a bit. Hi there, Dwight. And a miss. I hate you so much. Strike 2 for the disappointing stun and a disappointed survivor. Ouch. Jake doesn't think I see him while he's shredding his stuff around the neighborhood. Typical. It's good to know your limit when you're not in tier 3 of the whip, because even then I wasn't even able to go close to hitting him. And even in tier 3, it's good to know your limits, no matter what, or else you're just going to keep on whipping, missing, and letting the survivor get farther ahead of you and extending the chase longer. And that was a free hit. Always make sure to make the survivors go into thin corridors or into any locks that would lock them into animation. Meg lets herself die even though she knows clearly well what's going to happen. Another to add to my barbecue and chili. Don't think I didn't see you, buddy. As usual, it's good to know even before knowing that they have it. It's good to try and get as close as possible, see if they have dead hard, and if they don't, well, it's a free hit. If they do, they'll likely dead hard when you haven't even hit, and you'll still get a free hit from it. Jake probably really thought he was going down the right path. I was going to chase after the other girl, but realizing where he was going, he was probably going to try and save, which he did. Ruin is now destroyed, and now I have to rely on Eruption to keep me and the generators at bay. During this entire playthrough, I had many times to be able to whip the survivors. Usually I'm not doing so because I felt like an idiot. A complete idiot. That's a free and pretty much COVID-19 right there. How coincidental that we get this type of effect in 2020. Well, 2021 at this point, but you know how it is. Dwight and Jake try to be sneaky. Yeah, that's not really gonna work for him. Here shows the wild Dwight trying to loop around the bench. Please refrain from doing that ever again. That's another hooked, but sadly I still need to get one more survivor to get the next token. Likely it's Jake. At this point, it is going to be difficult to try and defend the generators when all of them are separated by a long shot. I could go back to try and deal with whoever unhooked the Dwight, but at this point, I want to try and make sure generators are more safe and intact than before the survivors got to him. Zombie has his arms up and gives me a good indication of where the survivors are. Not only that, but the scratch marks lead me right to their exact position. Here goes the wild Dwight, going for another bench loop. Incredibly effective. That was a miss, but I did get the pallet, so it still gives me some time to chase him. Looks like there were no more benches to loop around. And fortunately enough, the eruption has given me the location of 2 more survivors. With 1 survivor down and 1 generator to protect, now is when it gets even more difficult. Instead of focusing on any of the survivors, I decided to try and hit the generator. I know at this point it might be futile, but I'll at least try to get something out of protecting the generators, even if it doesn't last much long at all. I made a good mistake right here by patrolling around the generator for far too long. This could have given me ample time to try and go enough for other generators, but with the last generator fixed, at this point I had no hope and decided to try and at least get a bit of damage out. Survivor pulled a sneaky on me and managed to escape. Classic Survivor. whether this was to try and get to the exit or via mockery, they made it out. Well, 2 of them. One good hit on Meg gives me some points. And another, and strike 3 for the failed, disappointed stun. As long as you know how to work around it, flashbangs aren't really that good. They can still be fun when you know how to use them. Hatch closed, which means 1 less escape for the survivor. You had 1 chance to get out, and you didn't take it. It's good not to get out of. It's good to get out as soon as you can. Never try to be cocky. You know, I can't tell if he was being nice or if he was just mocking me. Either way, what a good zombie. Double team, and friendship till the end. Brutal killer, but what can you really do? Am I right? I could have done so much better had I used my whip more often and if I had pressured generators more often. But in the end, you learn from your mistakes. At this point, I wondered if at least 2 of them were a Swift, or maybe even 3 of them. It's hard to tell. I don't suspect the rank 13 to be part of them. I expect the 3 rank 4s, but in the end, we did great, and with all teams, they have pretty good perks that really want to fucking strut my stuff.